Hi my fetishists! Today we are going to look at some potential bargains of Xeon CPUs on eBay. To be mentioned in this list, the CPUs have to be at least 8 cores and dual socket capability. I am not going to check engineering samples or qualification samples because they aren't representing the final CPUs and their capabilities. The quoted prices don't include shipping because shipping costs depend on your location. For better overview, there will be a comparison at the end of the video. The first CPU we are looking at is the i5-2670V1. It's a Sandy Bridge based CPU, has 8 cores and was a pretty good bargain about 18 months ago. The CPU gained a lot of popularity at this time and the price increased from about 80 to 105 euro. With this CPU I built my first dual CPU machine by the end of 2016. It has an all-core duo of 3 GHz and a single and dual core duo of 3.3 GHz. That doesn't sound much, and to be honest it isn't much, but it is a pretty decent CPU although it's a Sandy Bridge based CPU with low frequency. The i5-2680V1 is the bigger brother of the i5-2670V1. The difference between them is the 100 MHz higher stock speed. The all-core duo is 100 MHz higher too and pushes the CPU to 3.1 GHz on 8 cores. The single and dual core duo is 3.5 GHz. It costs about 30 euro more than the i5-2670V1. Number 3 is the i5-2650V2. If you're looking for this CPU, be careful, because there is also i5-2650LV2. This is a 10-core low-power CPU with a stock speed of 1.7 GHz. But this particular CPU is an 8-core Ivy Bridge-based CPU with a stock frequency of 2.6 GHz. All-core duo is at 3 GHz and the single and dual core duo is at 3.3 and 3.4 GHz. This CPU is similar to the i5-2670V1, but is a newer Ivy Bridge generation. That's why 10 euro extra charge for this CPU is well invested. On number 2 we see the 10-core i5-2680V2 Ivy Bridge CPU. For about 170 euro you get 10 cores with an all-core duo of 3.1 GHz and a single and dual core duo of 3.5 and 3.6 GHz. If you have multi-thread intense workload and you need, let's say, acceptable core performance, there is at the moment nothing better than this CPU because of the low price. 20 cores and 40 threads in a dual CPU machine for 340 euro. It's getting hot in here. Because of the price, this CPU is not really a bargain anymore, but I bought 2 of these beauties and replaced my 2 i5-2670V1. The i5-2667V2 is an 8-core Ivy Bridge CPU with a base clock of 3.3 GHz. With the dual limits, the all-core duo is 3.6 GHz and goes up to 3.9 and 4 GHz in dual and single core duo. 16 cores and 32 threads with 3.6 GHz is not that bad. Even new games are no real challenge for this CPU. Before we come to the comparison of the top 5, I want to show you some honorable mentions. There are 2 old Westmere Xeon CPUs, the X15650 and the X15675. I know they don't fit the rules of this video because they have only 6 cores each, but they are dual CPU capable. What's more interesting, you can overclock them very easy. 1 to 1.5 GHz on top of the stock speed with air cooling shouldn't be a problem. The difference between the CPUs is the multiplicator. And of course the price of these CPUs is awesome. About 15 euro for the X15650 and 35 euro for the X15675. If you want to upgrade some old 1366 boards, especially with an X58 chipset, and don't want to buy an entire new system, you should go for one of these CPUs. But be careful, you have to check the CPU compatibility list of your motherboard. I recommend the X5675 because of the previous mentioned higher multiplicator. It means less trouble regarding overclocking. The third honorable mention is the i5-2651V2. This little fella is a 12-core CPU with 1.8 GHz, but costs only 120 euro. This CPU is a good choice if you need a lot of cores and per core performance is not that important for you. Okay, here's the promised comparison with some short comments. As you can see, not all of them are positive. But why are we talking about CPUs that aren't a good bargain? It's simple, they could mislead you. The prices of the first 2 CPUs seem to be pretty good, but they aren't. Let's look at the i5 2670V1 and its bigger brother the 2680V1. For 105 and 135 euro and 8 cores each, they sound like a good deal. They were good deals in the past, but not anymore. They are both Sandy-bridge CPUs and have a high DDB. I don't want to say they are old, because, you know, the others are old too, but yeah, they are outdated. The 2670V1 was the price performance champion about a year ago, and 30 euro more for the bigger brother 2680V1 is not a good bargain. Sorry, but you two are out. So, the new price performance champion on the field is the i5 2650V2. It took the place of the i5 2670V1, and if you want a budget 16 cores 32 threads PC, take this CPU. A good compromise regarding core count and per core performance is the i5 2680V2. If you need a little more cores with solid per core performance, this will be your choice. My favorite CPU on this list is the i5 2667V2. This CPU makes only sense if you buy two of them, because a Ryzen 7 700 costs not much more. That's why you have to go dual CPU. For about 530 euro you get a 16 cores 32 threads machine with a quite good per core performance. That's it for the used Xeon CPU bargain report for October 2017. I hope it makes your decision easier to find the right Xeon CPUs for you. Of course, those CPUs are no match for new CPUs, but the focus is on number of cores for low money. And with these CPUs you will get cores, a lot of them. So, what do you think? Have I forgotten some good old Xeon CPUs? Are there any bargains I overlooked? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss upcoming videos. I will see you in the next one. Have a good day.